Hey, good morning, good afternoon, everyone. Keith Hawking here with Top Producer, just making sure technology's working here. So just give me a minute. Just gonna double check. Looks like things are good. Just want to double check. Can everyone see me and hear me? Looks like it's working. I see myself on my phone, so that's a good sign. All right, we're just gonna give people a few minutes to join here. All right, we'll begin in about 1 minute here. Just I see people loading in here. Good morning, good afternoon, depending where you are. And in the chat, if you can see me and if you can hear me clearly, if you could just let me know, that would be great. Thank you. All right. 30 more seconds and we'll begin with today's content. All right. Looks like we're good. Looks like technology is behaving. Thank you. Thanks for the validation that you can hear me. All right. Well, good morning, everyone. Welcome to today's Facebook Live by Top Producer. Today, we're going to talk about how can we better help you not only manage your leads, but convert your leads. And that's really what this is about today. Is leads come from a variety of different places, whether they be online, whether they be from open houses, your social networks. I don't want to just focus on leads in general and online leads. I think leads is kind of a plural topic and widespread. So what we're going to talk about is how can Top Producer help you with that? What things should you be doing in Top Producer to, effectively manage those leads that you generate, whether they are online, whether they are in person, things like that. So that's what we're going to talk about today. We will focus a lot on online because that is definitely a big lead source for a lot of us, is our website, portals, all these other places that you can get leads from. So we're going to focus on that today. If you do have questions, please feel free to type them in the chat. I do try to answer every question I can. You'll often see me look down. It's just because I'm checking if there's any questions in the chat. And other than that, let's get started. So, let's talk about online leads first. The one thing that's really interesting about online leads is the average consumer actually becomes a lead multiple times. They may go to, Realtorcom, find a home, inquire, and never hear back from that agent. They might go to another place, never hear back. Or if they do hear back, it was hours, days, whatever later. The other thing too, you also have to assume is every lead is being sent to multiple agents, right? So just because that you got that lead doesn't necessarily mean that someone else didn't get that lead, right? Maybe because, as I said, they've inquired on 2 different multiple sites, which happens often. So there's always competition, right? That agent might have already had an agent they've been interacting with. They might have. So you're always in this kind of area where you're competing for that business, right? Just don't assume that because that person inquired and you got that lead that they're not working with somebody else, or they might not already be working with someone else. So, but having, valuable insights and an effective follow-up system can really help you set apart from the rest. And in Top Producer, and specifically Top Producer X, it's super easy. So I'm going to show you how we can help you set up Top Producer to really help you manage leads effectively. So the first thing is, some of you may not be aware of this, but you can actually connect Top Producer and Top Producer X to 150 plus different third parties. So if you get leads from the portals, if you get leads from an IDX, if you get leads from a website, if you get leads from XYZ lead company, I don't know, there are so many companies out there that generate leads. Whatever it is, the odds that you can get those leads to auto-populate into Top Producer is almost like 99%. And if you have a lead source that we don't support, let us know. We're constantly adding support, but I guarantee you the odds of that happening are pretty low at this stage. And so there is a couple different ways you can do that. So in Top Producer X, and I'm actually just going to go live and show you where you can set this up and how easy it is. All you want to do is go into your settings, and I'm just going to wait for my screen to catch up here. And I'm going to show you an X. This is also available in current Top Producer as well. And once you're in the settings, what you can do is go to lead providers. And once in lead providers, what you'll find is you will have an email address specific to your Top Producer account. And this email address will be something like your username at myleads.io. All you need to do is take that email address and input it into whatever lead provider you have. So often ABC lead provider will have a place where it says, where do you want your leads emailed to? Instead of having it your email address, what you want to do is input, this is the email address, or an alternate email address. So in a lot of cases, these lead providers will allow you to have multiple email addresses where you want leads to be sent to. This should be one of them. This is the way that you're going to get those leads sent into your Top Producer account. So again, for those of you, I just want to kind of go back. So I think Karen, I saw your comment that I was frozen for a minute. I apologize for that. So basically what you want to do is when you're inside your Top Producer X account, you just want to go under settings, click on lead providers, and then there's an email address right here. This is basically your lead parsing email address for Top Producer. So what you're going to do with this email address is go and input it into any of the sites, online places that you generate leads from. So if you get leads from, I mentioned the portals, your IDX, your website, whatever it might be, wherever you get online leads from, you just need to go in and input that email address into the lead generation service that you're signed up for and have them send leads to this email address. What that will do is basically now automate having all your leads sent automatically into Top Producer. So I'm going to pause for a minute and see if there's any questions related to how to get leads into Top Producer from third-party lead sources. And again, if you have questions, please go ahead and just type them in the chat. Okay, so what we're going to do is, I will come back if there is any questions. Let's move on to step 2. So step 1 is get all your leads into one place. I can't tell you the importance of having all of your leads in a single place. If you have leads going into your email, if you have leads going here and here and here, it's really hard for you to manage those effectively. So, so what happens now? So I set up my lead providers. What happens? So what will happen? I'm going to show you. And actually, Karen just said, will the lead be added as a contact? Exactly. That's what's going to happen. What you'll see here, I have a tab right here called New. This is where all my online leads come to. So I have a lead from Realtor.com. I have a lead from my Market Snapshot service. I have a lead from my website. I have another lead from my Market Snapshot service. And then I just have a test lead that I inputted. Any leads that come from those third-party lead providers will automatically be inputted into your Top Producer account as a new lead. So when you log in, you'll see it under New, and they'll be created as a contact. Now, what's cool about that is there's a couple of things that we're going to add to that lead for you to make it more intelligent. So step 2, I'm going to kind of go through the slides, and then we'll go live. Step 2 of that is use valuable insights. So the one thing that we do for you is we will actually profile that lead. So we're going to take their email address and their information, and we're going to try and look for them online. Basically try and match and see what we can find out about them. And if we can do that, what you'll see is we'll pull in things like their LinkedIn profile, their Twitter, their Pinterest, their TikTok. I don't even know what the rage is right now. There are so many sites, but we'll also pull in a profile about who they are, right? So you can see here that Sophie came in. Well, don't know why that switched back. Sophie came in. She's a mother, wife, teacher with 20 years of experience teaching high school. These are all her interests. How valuable is that, right? You get this stranger online, and let's be honest, an online lead is a stranger, and you have some idea who they are. The fact that we can give you this profile before you even pick up the phone and say hi is super valuable. Knowing a little bit about who they are before you pick up the phone, how much more comfortable is that conversation going to go? How many of you guys get fake leads, right? This is like, if you see this and you see a profile, this is like a real person with real information, you're probably going to jump at that opportunity. But I would also say, just because we can't profile someone, don't assume they're fake. okay? Because a lot of people aren't on social media, do not have all these social media sites. So, but it's something we can do for you instantly. The other thing we'll also do when we talk about insights is, well, actually, if that person inquired on a property, we're going to pull in property insight. So we'll actually pull in the property they inquired on and all the information about that property and add it under the property insight tab under the contact record. So now think about this. You have all your leads coming into one place. You have that lead profiled. And now we'll also add in an insight about the property they inquired on so we can keep track of their journey working with you. Homes they've inquired on, homes that you've discussed with them, and keeping a log of that activity that you've had with that lead, right? Maybe now you can quickly, also by adding this property insight, you can actually view the entire listing right on Realtor.com. So even if you pick up the phone, this might not be your listing, it may be. You'll have a bunch of more information about that listing and be able to answer any questions. So this is how we add insight. So what does this look like in real life? This is what it would look like in real life. A lead will come in automatically, and I'm going to use my Realtor.com lead here. Okay, here's Tom and Nicole Richmond. It tells me what the lead was, their social profile information, right? All automatically. I didn't do anything. Okay. Any properties they inquired on, which was right here, 2804, was automatically added. They also inquired on another property, but you can see here, it was automatically added. This is all done without you having to do anything. It's done completely automatic. You do nothing. So now when those leads come in, you basically have a profile of who they are as a person, all their social media information, as well as we now start adding these property insights for you. You've done nothing at this point. All you've done is set up all your lead providers to send those leads to Top Producer. So this is done completely automated. You do nothing. So before you even pick up the phone, you have all this information at your fingertips. So I'm going to pause for a minute. I see a question here. So someone asked, can I email the property insight to the client? Yeah, so that is something we do want to do. It is not available right now. But the other thing I would also argue is they inquired on this home, so they probably saw a lot of information online. But just want to add, we do have plans to allow you to send properties out to your clients right from here. It's kind of the next step in the evolution of the property insight feature. Yeah, so Karen asked, so if I add a person manually with that information on my back, yeah, exactly, Karen. Anyone you have in your database, we are going to automatically scour the internet and try and match them, pull their social profile information. Property insights, you're going to have to add yourself. So if you've manually added a person into your database, you'll be able to go to the property insight area and click on add insight, and then type in the address or the MLS ID of the property you want to add to their record. But the social happens on every contact in your database without you doing anything. And the way you can tell is when you're looking at your contact record in Top Producer X, you'll see like all these pictures, right? You see how a lot of my contacts have photos? I didn't add these photos. These all just got pulled in via social media. So it was done automatically and you had to do nothing. So if you see pictures, that means we've been able to pull a picture, and also likely the odds of them having a social profile is really good as well. Yeah, so here's an example of that. Hope that answers your question. All right. So let's just kind of finish up the content, and then we'll get to some more things. So the first thing is set it up. Hey Dennis, just jumped on and I don't see Top Producer X property insights. Dennis, what is the reason for that is you might have to set it up. So let me just go through how do you set up property insights. So what you need to do is under settings, you need to click on MLS credentials. Okay, and then you can validate your MLS credentials right here. Awesome. Okay, Dennis found it. But anyways, for anyone watching, right? If you need to set up property insights because you haven't done it yet, you just need to go under settings, MLS credentials, add your MLS and your MLS login, and that will activate the integration with your MLS, and then you can start pulling in property insights. So again, if you're ever looking where do you set up all this stuff, it's always under settings inside of TPX. All right. Okay, so let's kind of go back to our prepared content here. I want to make sure we cover everything today. Thank you for all the questions, though. Keep them coming. Okay, so we talked about the getting leads into Top Producer. We talked about the insights and the profiling. We talked about, and one thing I also want to add, if some of you watching today get leads from Realtor.com, we actually have an enhanced integration with Realtor.com where we'll actually pull in additional search behavior of that lead above and beyond just the general, hey, they inquired on this property and here's who they are. We'll pull in things like how many listings they looked at, how many days they've been searching on Realtor.com, what their recent search criteria was. And then we'll also showcase not only the listing they inquired on, we'll also show you other listings that they've been viewing. So if you get leads from Realtor.com, we have an enhanced integration with Realtor.com as well. Okay, so now we've talked about getting leads in, we've talked about the social insights. What's next? Well, it comes down to follow-up, right? And this doesn't matter if we're talking about online leads, your past clients, your database. It always comes back to follow-up. But I want to show you a couple things you can do for those new leads, and then in general, what you can do with your database on there. So all right, so what we're going to do here, just give me a minute here. Is in Top Producer, what you can do is basically on each tab, you can set up a follow-up reminder. So I can basically set up Top Producer X to say, okay, for my new leads that come in, what is that reminder? I'm just going to clear this one. So let me delete this reminder. So right now I have no reminder set up on my new tab. What I can do is click on Add Follow-up Reminder. And I can say, highlight the ones I haven't followed up if it's been more than 1 day. But in this case, I'm just going to say, show me 30 days. But you would want to set that to be new. And the good news is I've actually followed up everyone. So let me reset that so I can show you a different example of where it might highlight some customers. There we go. So I can quickly see ones that I need to follow up with, some ones that are overdue. And I can basically set these follow-up reminders on each tab. So when I'm looking at my new lead tab, you'll be able to actually engage and really quickly look at where you need to follow up. And another really great thing with Top Producer X is you can actually sort by last touch. So I can focus on the people that I've most recently followed up with and the people I need to follow up with. So it makes it really, really easy to resort your list and set up these kind of visual cues of the contacts that you need to focus on within each of them. And again, you can do this on any tab within the TPX system. So you can set these rules across whatever tabs that you choose to use. All right, I'm just going to pause for a minute and see if there's any questions related to that. And Brian, I saw your question. Is this recorded? Yes, it is recorded. So you can watch this after it'll be posted on our Facebook page. Another thing I want to just talk about, if you are investing in some online lead places, you may want to create a tab that's specific to those. So let me use an example of that. Let's say you're investing in Realtor.com leads, okay? What you could do is you could essentially create a custom tab. And I'm going to call this Realtor.com leads. And I'm just going to use a group that I might have in here called Realtor.com lead. And I create a tab. And what that will do now is every Realtor.com lead that's in my database is under this one tab. And this allows me to focus on, these areas where I'm investing. So if I really quickly just want to focus my attention on, okay, I need to make sure I'm taking care of these leads from Realtor.com, there's no easier way to do that. You can just create a custom tab called Realtor.com. You could add a follow-up reminder that says, hey, 7 days. And now I can focus on the red ones, and I can focus on, the most recent to the oldest. It's a quick way for me now to focus my efforts on those specific leads and make sure I'm doing a good job staying in touch and finding the ones that I lost touch with. This is really an easy way to set up your system. And again, I'm just going to pause again and take a question. If there's any questions to that. Mark, I saw the question regarding text messaging, but I'd be happy to go through it. I just want to finish up this topic and then we can go on to general Q&A. Okay. So another thing just on follow-up. Another thing with the follow-up is the follow-up coach. What you see here is, so this is being proactive. Okay, this is me setting up a system and saying, hey, this is how I'm going to follow up with my leads, and this is how I'm going to remind myself how to do that. And if for those of you that want to know, what you can do is, again, you can create custom tabs in here. So there was a question, how did I set up that category? All I did is from my dashboard in Top Producer, I clicked on settings, I clicked on create tab, and then from here you can create any custom group that you want. It's really up to you how you want to set up your dashboard in TPX of your filtering. I use an example. I can label this Realtor.com, and then I can use contact types and groups in my database. Like, the possibilities are endless of how you can customize Top Producer X to the way you work. Not everyone gets Realtor.com leads, so that may not be relevant, but you may get leads from your website. So you may want to have a tab called website leads, whatever it might be. Maybe you guys get FSBO leads. Maybe you want to have a tab called FSBO leads. I mean, it's really up to how you want to operate. It's really up to you. So, and if you have questions afterwards, guys, one thing I would also point out, we do have a chat now here. So if you're in TPX and you're not sure how to do something or how to set up something that I've shown today, you can just click on chat now, and you can chat live with one of our customer care reps. They'd be happy to help you out. Okay. All right. There was a question about text messaging, and I think it was from Mark. Yeah, it was Mark. So Mark, let's go and talk about text messaging. Let me see if I can get it to work with one of my contacts here. Let me see. Okay, let's talk about text messaging. So within TPX, we have integrated SMS text messaging where you can essentially text your contacts or leads into basically a contact. Let's just call them contacts, leads, same thing. Right from Top Producer X. So I can send a text message right from here, and it would be sent directly to that person. And then the history of that text exchange would actually be tracked under here. So the value you get in using text messaging within TPX is twofold. One is, and really the big one for me is, one, you can text live right from here. So you can just text right through your computer, which allows you to, quickly do your follow-up. But two, the real value comes into the fact that you'll have a history of all those text messages. So the text messages that you sent and receive with that contact will show up in the contact's history automatically. So having that set up is basically automated. And basically now you have that history. So a couple things regarding the text message thing, and I just want to say it in case, this is not available in Canada. So I just want to be upfront. If you are watching and you're based in Canada, this feature is not available. It's available in the US only, and that's just due to laws in Canada. So sorry to have bad news. But the good news is, for those of you in the US, this is a great feature that's 100% integrated right into TPX. So Albert asked, sorry, came in late, can I view separately? Albert, yes, all of our Facebook Lives are recorded. So you will be able to watch the recording after if you want to catch up on the stuff that you missed. But welcome, glad you took time to make it. Jose asked the question, are we allowed to send receive pictures on text messages? So not right now, Jose. So pictures do not work through this. I don't know. What I'll do is I'm going to take that as a follow-up because I don't have an answer on if or when that support might come. But today that is not available. Yeah, Karen, this is a really great feature. I mean, when you think about what we've done here, is we've really made it super easy and effective for you to follow up with your clients. I mean, you can call them, you can email them with our integrated email, you can send them a text message, you can send them a snapshot. Like, it's all about the follow-up. And I feel like we're giving you guys the tool set that you need to communicate effectively across all platforms and channels. So, and the fact that all that gets logged in the contacts history is even just gravy on all of it. So Karen asks, so if I send a text from TP, will there be a record of it on my phone and vice versa? So Karen, when you send a text out of TP, the text message is actually coming from a phone number we assign to you. So it's not coming from your cell phone's phone number. The text history of those messages is only available in TPX. You will get text to your phone telling you that someone, like, the text response will come to your phone. Yeah. So let's kind of go through that. If you haven't set up the text messaging, lots of questions about the phone number stuff. So let's go to settings and we're going to go to texting. So what happens is you're going to set up your own phone number here. You're going to be given a phone number in your local area code that is going to map to your phone. Okay. So what happens is we're basically giving you a phone number in your local area code. If someone called, text that phone number, it's still going to your phone, but it's different from your cell phone number. We legally cannot allow you to text through our system through your phone number. You could imagine what could happen if we enabled that behavior. And it's more for your protection and security and the cell phone companies, right? So that's just one thing you need to be aware of is when you send a text out of TPX, it's coming from your TPX phone number. So it's a different phone number than your cell phone number. I hope that makes sense. So Brian asked a question, video from BombBomb integrated with TPX. Brian, something that's in the plans. Not yet, but definitely makes sense from a gradual next step of where we are. So stay tuned for that. I do, and just follow up on that, I don't have an ETA, Brian, on when that will happen, but I know it's in something we've talked about adding. Great. What other questions can I answer for you guys today? You guys have lots of great questions. So, well, you know, the best thing about these Facebook Lives is it's about you guys. We come prepared with a topic, go through a topic, and then you guys kind of take control of what we talk about. So, Jose asked, how big of a message are we allowed to send? So, Jose, I'm not sure. I'm guessing that we follow whatever standard text messages protocol is. So it would be limited by what the carriers can support. And I imagine we follow that protocol. So I don't know exactly how many characters. I don't know if there's anyone on that knows. Warren, if you're watching, I don't know if you know the answer to that question. But I'm imagining it's based on the standard protocols that exist. So Jose, if we don't know the answer, we'll get you the answer. We'll make sure we follow up with you. All right, what other questions can we answer for you guys today related to Top Producer X? So let's recap kind of what we talked about today. So first one is you can integrate all of your lead providers into Top Producer X. So it doesn't matter what the provider is. If you get leads from online websites, IDXs, third parties, I mean, there's so many places. We're not going to go through them all. You can bring all those leads automatically into Top Producer. The next thing you can do is get those insights, right? So that lead comes in, we're automatically going to do our best to profile that person for you. with their social media profile. So we're going to try and find them online, match that information, pull it into your top producer contact record. At the same time, if those people inquired on a property, we're going to do our best to automatically add that property that they inquired on as an actual insight within that contact record to keep track of your buyer's journey and their interest. The third one is then setting up follow-up, right? So there's a couple of ways to set up follow-up. You can either use our default tabs and set up some reminders here, or you can get creative like me and create one like called Realtor.com leads, where I can just quickly look at all my leads from Realtor.com. So, and then set up reminders on there. So basically, step 1, get all your leads into one place. Step 2, use the insights and value that we give you. Step 3, follow up. I mean, it's pretty simple. There's many different ways you can accomplish that in Top Producer. It's never been easier, to be honest with you. So, let's see here. Amy asked, any word on birthdays in TPX? So Amy, I'm not sure the question because birthdays should be in here. Unless I'm missing something. So if the question, so under important dates, if you've been using the important dates, those birthdays should all already be loaded into Top Producer. Unless there's another birthday thing I might be missing. So Amy, please type back if I've mistaken, if I took your question wrong. Frank asked, how long will Top Producer Classic be kept going? Frank, there's no end date at this stage. So yeah, we have no end date. It'll keep going until we reach a point where we feel like everyone's moved over. But yeah, no end date at this stage. Yeah, and I want to just talk about that future here. Like, this is, you know, we've made a lot of real big steps in the right direction, but we're not done yet. I want to be clear. Top Producer X it's an ongoing thing, and it's gonna be ongoing for a long time. We have so much we want to do. We have so much we want to add, and we're not done yet. So we're just, you know, I hate to say it, we're kind of just getting started, truly, to be honest with you. And some of the things that we're working on right now. So if you ever want to know what's new, you can click on the What's New button here, see the things that we've been fixing, bugs, things like that, things that we've added. At the same time, you can find out what we're adding. So right now, our big focus is on market snapshot integration, adding listings and closings. So if you're a Top Producer Classic user, I'm pretty sure that you're using our listings and closings, having task plans, and then adding in some additional templates and a dashboard. So you know, so the one thing I want to let you know is lots to come still. So and hey Frank, I saw your comment. Frank said he hasn't tried it yet. You know, the great thing is, Frank, you can actually use both. You do not have to switch between them. You can flip back and forth between Classic and X as much as you want, because the data is the same. So if you do something in Classic, it's available in X. If you do something in X, you can do it, it's in Classic. So feel free to start, you know, experimenting with X, but you can always go back to Classic. You're not making a one-time switch. It's something you can do. Oh, okay. And Amy says, birthdays do not show up in, Okay, Amy, let me take that one offline and follow up with the team. I'm guessing there must be another way to do birthdays that maybe it's not showing up under X. So I'll follow up with you, or someone from our team will follow up with you on that one, Amy. All right. What other questions can I answer for you guys today? Real great content today. Thanks for bringing the questions. Let's see. Someone said the video's blurry. It wasn't at first. Is the video blurry for others? Let me know in the chat if my video's coming through blurry. I apologize if it is. Let me look at my my ratings are looking pretty good, so sorry if that's the case. So someone asked, do we have an API integration with other service providers? Depending on the service provider, if you have an example. But one other thing we do have integration with, which is Zapier, which might solve that. Video's looking good. Okay, great. If you have a question, if you have a specific service provider that you want to integrate with, just type it in the chat or reach out to us. We can look at that. Mark says, I have Office 365. How can I merge or connect that email program to TPX? Really easily. So first off, right now you can connect the email portion to TPX, and then soon in the future you'll be able to connect contacts and the rest if you use that. But Mark, what you need to do is just go under settings, go under, where is it? Email integration. And then what you'll be able to do here is just type in the email address that you use for your Office 365, and then go through the setup here, and it will integrate your email automatically into TPX. What integration would you want with Follow-Up Boss? See the question there, like passing leads between the two. So Mark, I just want to kind of come back. This is where you can connect your email. And I want to talk about email for a minute since we're on this topic. What you may not know is by connecting your email, you're actually opening up a bunch of new features. And what that does for you is, one, you're now able to send an email out of TPX automatically, which is awesome. And what's cool about this is once you connect your email to TPX, when you send an email out of TPX, guess what it's coming from? Coming from your email server. It's not coming from us, which means your deliverability of your emails goes up substantially because you're not sending from the same service there. So the second thing is it also opens up the email history. So any emails you've ever privately exchanged with that contact will actually be right here. And you'll also be able to see whether or not they've opened it or not. So you basically, by setting up your email in TPX, you unlock all this functionality where you now have a history of everything that was sent and received with that contact, even if it wasn't sent in TP. And also they open, whether or not they opened it or not. So that's another thing. By setting up your email, you kind of open up that. Yeah, you should be able to get leads from Follow-Up Boss into Top Producer X. And all you'll need to do is, again, under settings, is you have this under lead providers here. Just take this email address, put it into the in Follow-Up Boss. There's probably a setting of where you want to be emailed your new leads. You can just put that email address in that setting, and it should bring your Follow-Up Boss leads into Top Producer. I don't want to miss a question. Brian asked, can we set up plans with a lead group like 8i? Brian, coming very soon. Not there yet. Something we're working on. Amy asked, I have TP website with market snapshot set up. Leads are coming to my email, not the FiveStreet email. Should I just use chat function or have someone help me check my settings? That simple. Yeah, Amy, what we'll do is we'll definitely have someone take a look at your setup. So, and then we'll reach out to you before we make any changes. So we can take that offline and someone on our team can help you. Make sure that you're set up optimally. Be happy to help. All right, guys, we got a few more minutes here, and then we'll wrap up today. Any last minute questions you have for me before we end today's session? No, you're welcome, Amy. Happy to help. Okay, everyone. Well, thank you for taking 40 minutes out of your day. Again, if you need help in any questions related to this, just hit the chat now. Glenn will get mad to me if I chat him. But you guys have access to chat in here automatically. Look, guys, these Facebook Lives become super valuable when you guys engage. You guys were super engaged today. I appreciate it. I love it when I can come into these events and you guys bring a lot of questions and are engaging with me. So I just want to say thank you for the engagement. It makes these valuable for everyone. So I appreciate it. Someone asked for these videos every week at the same time. We try to do weekly. We're pretty consistent. There might be the odd week miss, but for the most part, we're every Wednesday, 10 a.m. West Coast time, 1 p.m. East Coast time on Facebook, where we do similar sessions like this, where we have a bunch of different ways to help you guys, increase your business. So yeah, please tune in. Make sure you're following our Facebook page if you're not. That's how you can get alerted of all of our events like this. And other than that, I'll wrap up today. If there's any follow-up questions, our team will chat those in responses to you. Yeah, Mark, thank you. I appreciate the comment. Mark says, I learned something new every time, so good job. I appreciate it, Mark. We try to bring, new things every week, and it's the small things that add up. So I appreciate it, and you guys have an awesome rest of your week. Thank you, and take care from now.